Today I want to talk about heart rate training, specifically the who, what, when, where, and why you might want to consider adding heart rate training to the mix. And if you decide to do so, how would you go about getting there? Now, admittedly, I'll be mostly skimming the surface on the topic today. Otherwise, this will be a 47-hour YouTube video, and I don't think anybody wants to be watching this for the next 47 hours. So if you have specific questions on anything that we touch on today, please let me know, and I'll address those questions more specifically in future videos. So today, looking at heart rate training in general, starting at the top, who would benefit most from heart rate training? Now, this is admittedly a little bit of a cop-out answer, but pretty much any runner is going to benefit from heart rate training. Now, you could probably make an argument that if you're a sprint-focused athlete, that heart rate training may not be the best bang for your training buck. And while I don't know that I would completely agree with that logic, I don't know that I can really push back too hard on it either. But if you're running longer distance races, and by longer distance, I mean 5K and beyond, although again, you could make an argument 1 mile, 2 mile, maybe even the half mile would constitute longer distance. But in this case, definitely anything 5K and beyond, if that's your sweet spot as a runner, you like to race those longer distance races, then in my view, heart rate training is a slam dunk, great option to help you meet and exceed your race goals. So now let's dive into what heart rate training actually is. In short, heart rate training is focused on training at a certain level of intensity, measured by your heart rate, instead of going all out, balls to the walls, or ovaries to the walls, with all of your training miles. Run slow, race fast is kind of my philosophy on heart rate training, but maybe it's not the most accurate way of saying it. It's really more run easy, race hard. You want to keep most of your training runs at a relatively easy effort, and then when it's go time, whether in a workout and especially on race day, you hammer. And I know that may sound a little bit counterintuitive, like,
Diz, if I'm running easy all the time, how am I going to be able to run hard on race day?
I know that doesn't always make the most amount of sense, but I promise it works, and we will dive into why that works and what is happening internally a little bit more today, but definitely in future videos, so stay tuned for those. So when do you make heart rate training part of your routine? I would argue pretty much all the time. Yes, there's a time and a place to do some hard workouts, and I'm not opposed to doing a hard workout, but the bulk of your training diet, whether you want to go 80-20, whether you want to go 90-10, whether you just kind of want to be more intuitive and kind of see how you're feeling and adjust by the day, in order to get the most bang for your buck from heart rate training, and again, really try to see some of those long-term benefits that I have witnessed in myself, seen in some of the athletes I coach, and certainly heard lots of stories from other folks similar to me who have really embraced the heart rate training mindset. It takes a while, and it takes consistency, and it takes just being disciplined, running easy pretty much all the time. As far as the where question is concerned, I don't know that it really matters whether you're running on the track, whether you're running on the trail, whether you're running on the treadmill. Oh, heaven help you if you choose to run on the treadmill. Whether you're running in the streets, whether you're running outside, inside, upside down, you can definitely make heart rate training part of your regular running routine, no matter where you regularly run. So why? Why should you consider slowing down, running more by heart rate than just by going all out all of the time? Well, there's a lot of reasons, and again, we're just touching the surface on these today. We'll dive into each of them a little bit more down the road. As far as I'm concerned, the biggest reason to adopt heart rate training as your main go-to training philosophy is the benefit of building your aerobic fitness. Fact of the matter is that if you're going hard, you're training above your aerobic zone, you're not gonna build aerobic fitness. And for longer distance races, again, anything 5K and above, arguably anything 800 meters and above, the stronger your aerobic base of fitness is, the more likely you are to have successful results on race day. The more you'll be able to push yourself and not fall off at the end of a race. So building your aerobic fitness is huge with heart rate training. Another big benefit of heart rate training is the reduction of risk of injury. Fact of the matter is that running is pretty physically demanding of a sport, and lots of runners get injured every year. Maybe you know this from firsthand experience. Now, heart rate training doesn't guarantee that you'll never be injured, but if you're not pushing as hard every day, if you're running a little bit more in a comfortable level of effort, you're putting less stress and strain on your body, which gives you a better chance of avoiding some strains, some sprains, some overuse type of injuries, which not only helps you to continue to build your fitness and get stronger as a runner, but also just means that you're not going to be stopping and starting due to injury as often as maybe you have in the past, and certainly as often as some runners tend to do. Another benefit, like I said, so many benefits of heart rate training. Another benefit of heart rate training is that you'll likely see an improved quality of workout. Like I said earlier, and like we will definitely dive into more in future videos, heart rate training doesn't mean just running easy all the time. There's still a time and a place to go hard, to do a hard workout, whether it's repeats, hill intervals, tempo runs, whatever type of workout might fit based on your goals and your races that you're training for. There is absolutely still a time and a place to go hard, even if you have really fully embraced heart rate training. And a funny thing happens when you're running easy most of the time, especially leading up to those workouts, your legs are going to be more well rested and you're going to be chomping at the bit to get out there and hammer your repeats or running up the hills or whatever workout might be. And you might just be surprised to realize that your quality of workout is better. Maybe the quantity has gone down a little bit, but in terms of quality versus quantity, I'll take quality workouts any day of the week and twice on Sundays. And another kind of hidden benefit, I think, of heart rate training is that you might just see your overall quality of life improving. How so? Fair question. But I've gotten this comment from a lot of folks I've coached over the last couple of few years that have really kind of focused their training more into effort-based and heart rate-based training methods. And they've commented how after a long run, they're still able to go about their whole day versus before when they were pushing hard all the time. They'd do their long run and they'd just be wrecked all day. They wouldn't be able to have energy to play with the kids, to do work around the house, and maybe to just actually go to work. They'd be wrecked. They'd be so tired, so worn out, so sore. And now that they're running easier, building their base, still seeing progress towards their goals, but they're also able to have energy for the rest of the day, whether it's a short, easy run, whether it's a hard workout, whether it's a long run. By slowing down, by running easy, their actual quality of life outside of running has improved. So if you've made it to this point, maybe, just maybe, you're thinking to yourself, yeah, maybe I should try this heart rate training thing. Well, I promise you it's not that difficult. The only thing you really need in addition to your running shoes, things like that, is an actual heart rate strap. Now you may be saying,
Diz, I've got my fancy running watch. It calculates my heart rate.
No, it doesn't. We'll talk about that a little bit more as we go, but if you're gonna be serious about heart rate training, I can't stress this enough, get a heart rate sensor. Get a strap that goes around your chest, actually that measures your heart rate as opposed to just measuring blood flow, which blood flow, heart rate, not the same thing. Get yourself a heart rate strap, then figure out your zones. There's a whole host of ways to do it. My personal favorite is the Patron method, which is simply just 180 minus your age. That's the upper level that you want to stay at. So anything underneath that. For me, I'm 40, so the math is pretty easy. 180 minus 40, 140 beats per minute is my maximum aerobic heart rate zone. I try to stay below that, usually try to stay in the 130s. But again, there's different formulas out there. There's different ways of calculating it. We'll get into some of those in the future, but get a heart rate strap, determine your zones, and then stick with it. Heart rate training is a long-term play. It's not something that's going to bring short-term success, sadly, but if you stick with it months and years instead of days and weeks, I can almost guarantee, can't quite guarantee, but almost, that you're gonna see progress towards your running goals. So there you have it, the who, what, when, where, why, and how of heart rate training. Like I said, we're gonna dive into some of these specifics a lot more in coming weeks. So if you have questions, if you have something that you would really like to hear me drill down on, maybe show some examples of, maybe show some examples from my training. Since I've been doing heart rate training basically exclusively for going on 5 years now, I'm happy to show you my numbers, show you my progress, show you how it's worked out on race day for me. I'm a wide open book. So if you have any of those questions, let me know down in the comments, on social media, shoot me an email, whatever works best for you works just fine for me. But heart rate training, it's legit. The science is there. And once you kind of start to understand it, once you can wrap your head around the fact that you don't have to go hard all the time or even that often to make a lot of progress as a runner, you might come to the conclusion that heart rate training is the right choice for you.